Melodica video number 2, how to put your instrument together. This is going to be a pretty easy video. We're just going to open the case. Now remember what we talked about last week, which is to make sure that your Melodica is safe all the time. So you put it in the case, you make sure that the zipper is closed before you move it, and you also make sure that your Melodica is cleaned off. Okay, so 3 things. That's what we talked about last week. This week what we're going to talk about is how to put your instrument together. And this is pretty easy. So what I'd like you to do is take out your instrument, and as you see here, this is that hole that we were talking about last week, which is where the mouthpiece goes. Now a mouthpiece looks kind of like this. And I don't know what kind of Melodica you have at home, but mine looks like this. And so normally you would just put it in here. Now I have another mouthpiece that is a tube, like this. And so it's got the little mouthpiece on the end, and then it has another piece on the other end that you put into this hole, see? Now you'll have to be kind of careful to note that there's something here, right here. There's a little groove, and then there's a little piece of rubber, like a little ring. And so you need to have that ring in order for this to work. The reason why is because if you have that ring, then when you push it in, you push and twist, now it stays in. If you didn't have that ring, then the tube will fall out. So you have to make sure that that ring is there so it stays in. And then I'm going to use this as my little table. Put my Melodica down. And then the mouthpiece goes in your mouth. Wow. See that? Now watch this. I'm going to blow into my instrument. Whew. Boy, it didn't make any sound. Why didn't it make any sound? Well, the Melodica works in a way that the other instruments don't work, and that is that if nothing is pushed down, it's not going to make any sound. So what you need to do is put your finger down on at least one of these keys. It could be a white key or a black key. As long as you're pressing down on one of these keys and then you blow, then you actually get a sound. So this is how you put your instrument together, and then this is how I'd like you to learn how to hold the instrument. Have your mouthpiece like that, have your mouthpiece like this, and then blow into your instrument. And what I'd like you to do for this week is to practice putting your instrument together. This is going to become very important because when you go to play in concerts or recitals, you'll have to be able to put your instrument together pretty quickly. So there are a couple of common mistakes that people will make. One is that they pull the instrument out too fast and then woo, it kind of goes flying. So make sure when you pull out your instrument that you're very careful. I would recommend using 2 hands to pull out your instrument like this. And make sure you have a good solid grip. The Melodicas are not that durable. That means that if you drop it, it could break. And if you hit it the wrong way, it could break. So make sure that you take special care to pull out your instrument and with 2 hands. This is the safest way to do it. And then when you're putting on the mouthpiece, see, my hand's pretty big because I'm an adult. And so if your hand is kind of small, I would probably just leave it in the case and then pick it up with 1 hand and then put the tube into the hole while you're letting it rest against the case. And that way you won't risk dropping it, like that, see? And then I'll twist it, and then I've got the mouthpiece. And since I'm a little bit taller than you probably are, if you're a young kid, is I have to use one of these little platforms to get it higher enough so I can put this in my mouth. And then, just like that. So for homework this week, what I'd like you to do is practice putting it together and then practice taking it apart and very carefully putting it back into your case. And if you do it for a whole week, then I bet you'll be able to do it without having to think about it next time. So we will see you next time.